Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to day 2 of our end of 3rd grade review. Today, we are going to switch a little bit from multiplication word problems to moving into division word problems. So our I can statement for today is, I can solve division word problems. Straightforward enough. Before we jump into that, though, we're going to do, again, as always, our fluency practice. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper. And today, we're going to actually talk about the associative property. We have not been together in school for quite some time, which means we haven't had a chance to review all of the awesome, kind of challenging things we've learned this year. One of them was the properties. We talked about the distributive property, the commutative property, and the associative property. The associative property tells us it doesn't matter which order we group the factors in to solve, as long as we do them all. So with that being said, when we talk about the associative property, there are many different ways that I can tackle this problem. And I'm going to decide which way to tackle it by choosing which factors to multiply first. And I'm going to put parentheses around them. So for example, let's do this first. I'm going to write it again over here, 3 times 5 times 2. And I'm going to put my parentheses around 5 times 2 first. So then that's going to create 5 times 2 makes 10. And I'm going to bring down the 3 times. 3 times 10 equals 30. Now, this is not the only way I can solve this problem. I could group the parentheses around different factors. Oops, plus sign. Where else could I put the parentheses? Instead, I could do 3 times 5. I know 3 times 5 is 15 times 2. Well, I know whenever it's multiplied by 2, that's a doubles fact. So 15 plus 15. 5 plus 5 is 10, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, 30. I get 30 again. Now there's actually even a third way that I can do this. I can switch the order again and regroup the factors. So 3 times 5 times 2, I can rewrite that as 3 times 2 times 5. I can put my parentheses around 3 times 2, which gives me 6. And 6 times 5, that's a basic fact, gives me 30. 3 different ways to solve, all gives me the same product. This is an example of the associative property in action. So let's try one more that you guys can do. With your piece of paper, you can go ahead and divide it into 3 parts. I'm going to do it like this. My marker's starting to dry out. And my other fact is going to be 4 times 5 times 3. And I'm going to go ahead and write it 3 times. 4 times 5 times 3. 4 times 5 times 3. Now, here we go. My first way. Let's put our parentheses around 4 times 5. I know that gives me 5, 10, 15, 20. And 20 times 3, 20, 40, 60. Okay, this time I'm going to do my parentheses around 5 times 3. So that gives me 4 times 5 times 3 is 5, 10, 15. And then you may be thinking, we don't know 4 times 15. Well, we can set it up like this. 15 plus 15. Well, I just did that on my problem before. I know that's 30. And then 15 plus 15 is 30. 30 plus 30 is 60. Last one, I'm going to reorder the factors. So I'm going to make 4 times 3 times 5, parentheses around 4 times 3. 4, 8, 12. 12 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And we can see again, the associative property gave us 3 different ways to solve, all gave us the same product of 60. We will be reviewing the associative property again later this week, so it's important that you guys keep that in your mind. And of course, that is a skill that you will be using when you go to 4th grade. Let's take a look at our division word problems for today. I'm going to move my computer closer. There we go. All right. I want us to keep in mind the strategies that we talked about yesterday that we can use for multiplication. We can use those also for division. So tape diagrams, equal groups, arrays, related facts, number bonds. All of those strategies that we use for multiplication can be used again for division. So let's look at this problem. Emily saw 42 birds outside. They equally sat on 7 trees. How many birds are on each tree? Again, another strategy we always talked about was TSG. Who remembers what TSG stands for? Hopefully you're thinking total, size of the groups, and then the number of groups. What information do I already have from this problem? Hopefully you're thinking, I already know my total, which is 42. And it says they equally sat on 7 trees. So that means the 7 trees, is that my size of group or my number of groups? My number of groups. Each tree is a group. So already I can see my equation, if they give me my total, is going to be division. 42 divided by 7 equals, and I'm going to say B for birds. Again, we have lots of different strategies for how we can solve this. I'm going to use my skip counting strategy, and I'm going to count by 7s until I get to 42. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Perfect. Now I'm going to count my number of times I skip count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means there must be 6 birds on each tree. B equals 6. There are 6 birds on each tree. Drew my work, wrote an equation, wrote my sentence. Now let's look at number 2. Miss Smith has 36 red stickers and 14 blue stickers. She wants to give them equally to 10 students. I'm sorry, my chair is so loud today. To 10 students. How many stickers does each student get? Now I notice there's a lot of information in this problem. What is the first thing that I know? What do I have? 36 red stickers and 14 blue stickers. If I want to give them away equally, what is the first thing I need to figure out? How many stickers do I have? What is my total? So let's go ahead and add them together. 36 plus 14. 6 plus 4, I know that makes 10. 3 plus 1 plus 1 makes 5. So my total number of stickers is 50. And I know that I want to give them equally to 10 students. So that means each student counts as one group. So I have 10 groups, and I'm trying to figure out my size. How many stickers does each student get? Remember, each is always our key, that's going to be our size. So my equation is going to be 50 divided by 10 equals, and I'm going to say S for stickers. Now here, I'm going to write a related fact because that's a strategy I can use. I'm going to think 10 times what equals 50. And I'm going to go ahead and count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times 5. So S equals 5. Each student gets 5 stickers. Now I want you guys to pay attention to how I used an unknown in both of my problems. This was something that ended up being on your classwork yesterday, and by we I mean Miss Smith, didn't exactly do the best job at modeling that in her classwork. So I wanted to make sure I modeled that today, so that way when you go to your classwork, you can see what they mean about using an unknown. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our classwork for today. And it looks like this. And it says up at the top, write an equation and use a letter to represent the unknown. So just like we did up here. You have 3 questions. Make sure you do RDW. Read it, draw to model, write your sentence. Don't forget to use your unknown. And then once you guys have solved these 3, take a picture, upload it to Class Dojo, and let me know how you did. Can't wait to see your work in a little bit. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Talk to you soon. Bye.